Today's top stories include 501c3 status, an interview with the founder and current board member of Light the World, Mark Dzinski, as well as a new study showing the impact of electrification on poor rural areas around the world. Thank you for joining me today on Light the World News. I, as always, am your host, Scott Dzinski, and this is what's going on with Light the World this week. The top news story for Light the World this week is we got our 501c3 status. Now, for those of you that may not know, 501c3 status is a designation given to applicants by the IRS. Now, this means a couple things. First, if you pay American taxes and you donate to Light the World, you will now be able to write that donation off on your taxes. This also opens up new avenues of fundraising for Light the World by giving us access to certain grants and foundations that only give money to these designated nonprofits. So this is fantastic. This also is the green flag for several programs for Light the World. Check back soon for a Kickstarter campaign, which will begin shortly, and as updates on that become available, I will get them out to you. This week I got a chance to sit down with founder and board member of Light the World, Mark Dzinski. Mark has worked at GE for 27 years, and up until this project he was the CMO of GE Energy. It's a world of insight and a world of knowledge which gives him a unique perspective on how you can actually go about changing the world in terms of electrification. Let's take a brief look at an excerpt from that interview.
Will impact hundreds of families and then tens of thousands of families. And I believe we will be successful in changing how the electric utility industry thinks about supplying power to people that don't have it. And we will affect, in the end, not just the people that we touch directly as Light the World, but will affect all those people that get impacted because utilities change.
To see the interview in its entirety, you can click on the YouTube channel, and it's under Interview with Mark Dzinski. You can also go to the website and look under People and click on Founder Mark, and you'll be able to see the whole interview there. The interview runs about 47 minutes, and we talk about a lot of different things, everything from the help that we need, where the idea for Light the World came from, his childhood heroes, and all of this stuff. It's very interesting, so check it out. After reviewing a study on the impact of electrification in rural India, we've composed an article that we have posted on Google Plus and the website talking about the impact of electrification on the sexes. And you might be shocked to see what some of these stats and some of this research found out. The main point, aside from all of these social impacts on communities, is the big one, which is poverty. A family making under or at $1 a day, that went down by 13.8% just by providing lighting in these rural countries. It's a very interesting article, so check it out and get to learn something new. I think you'll be impressed. Tom Casoles, who is the Dean of the Pratt School of Engineering at Duke University, said that if you have the capacity to make the world a better place, you have the obligation to. And this is something that came up in the interview with Mark Dzinski, and we talked about some of the intellectual and human help that we need. Everything from engineers to software designers to PR people. At the moment, we have 72 registered engineers and other business professionals on the Crowdsourcing Solutions Center. On a similar note, if you're interested in participating in one of these Crowdsourcing Solutions Center teams, but you're not quite sure about where you would fit, we have 6 teams at the moment, all of which have different goals and different expertise requirements. So to see a breakdown of those, go onto the Crowdsourcing Solutions Center page and take a look at the teams. And if you decide that that's something that you might be interested in, click the register button. On the home page, it's in the top left, and we'll get you started from there. The last thing I want to leave you with is an update on the negotiations for our pilot project in sub-Saharan Africa. Things are coming along well and progress is being made. We feel confident that we will come to an agreement signed and supported fairly shortly. Thank you for joining me today on Light the World News. I'm Scott Dzinski, and I believe that every child deserves a nightlight.